Question. I know you're an artist. There's lots of artists out here who are in love with God, and that's a passion. But in terms of their theology, their worldview, their understanding of Scripture, how important is that to them in terms of their growth and their understanding, if they're going to be putting themselves in the spotlight and the platform of, this is who I am, this is who I represent, and then sharing that with others on a bigger platform than some Christian who's not a performer, because obviously as Christians we need to know this stuff. But if you're putting yourself out there, how important is it for you to have a real good grounding when it comes to Scripture, faith, God, and the other elements that come with it?
I think it's important. I mean, from my perspective,
yeah.
If I'm standing on a stage and I'm presenting myself as representing God in some way and claiming to proclaim a message about the gospel and unpack that and explain that and teach that, well, then for me, I feel the weight of responsibility to actually know what I'm talking about. So personally, I find that important. That I need to do my best to grow in that, and get deeper in that, because actually that feeds my creativity. They're not separate compartments. They're all part of the same one reality of God's kingdom. So not everyone's going to be, Shaolin, cross movement where it's breaking down super, theological ideas. But I think that's just not everyone's style, and actually that's not always the function of art. The function of art's not always to teach. It doesn't always have to be that. I think hip hop tends to lean towards projecting a strong message and being strong with that. So tends to be rappers go towards that a little bit more. But it doesn't always have to be in teaching mode.
So you'd say you got to be serious about the Scriptures, and you wouldn't split the two.
I think it's important in the life of every Christian to desire a greater knowledge and understanding of God. That never ceases, and that's not only a certain stream. That's not only people who minister publicly. That's actually something essential to every Christian's life. On the other hand, the Bible does talk about if you're a teacher, there's a stricter set of criteria that you're going to face in terms of how did you represent me. So I feel that, but that's also probably because I do preach and teach, and that feeds into my music. I already mentioned music is not only about teaching. It's probably not even primarily about teaching. It's the expression of the whole range of human emotions, and beauty, and I think when you delve deeper into an understanding of God, who He is, you actually understand that all creativity comes from Him. And so my study of Scripture doesn't only shape my music into more preachy, theologically correct doctrine, but my appreciation of Scripture and who God is deepens my creativity because it's drawing me closer to the source of all creativity. So I think it's important, it's important if you're up there representing this is the gospel, know what you're talking about, and don't claim things about your own walk with God that aren't really there, So pursue holiness, pursue a depth of knowledge of God.